I thought my wife was cheating until I found our entire marriage packed into plastic storage bins. That was the night I understood something terrifying. She wasn't hiding another man. She was hiding a future where she might forget me completely. My name is Ben. I'm 35. I live in Atlanta, and until last fall, my life was painfully ordinary in the best possible way. I edited commercial videos for local brands, mostly from home. My wife, Lauren, worked for the city as an urban planner. She was smart, organized, calm in a way that made other people feel less chaotic just by standing near her. We had a small brick house in East Atlanta, white kitchen cabinets we kept meaning to repaint, a creaky hallway, 2 coffee mugs we always fought over, nothing dramatic, nothing broken. That's why I noticed the change so fast. It started on a Monday. Lauren texted me around 6:10 p.m. Running late, traffic is awful, don't wait for dinner, no big deal. Atlanta traffic can turn a 15-minute drive into an hour without warning. But then it happened again Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday. By the second week, my wife came home late, every single night. Not a little late, 9:30, 10, sometimes closer to 11. She always had a reason: traffic, a zoning meeting, a last-minute committee review, a co-worker crisis. And every excuse sounded normal enough to survive on its own. That's the thing about lies. Good ones never arrive alone. They come dressed as ordinary life. At first, I tried to be supportive. I warmed up her food, left the porch light on, pretended not to notice how distracted she looked when she walked in. But little things started piling up. Lauren had always thrown her phone on the kitchen counter the second she got home. Now it stayed in her hand. If it buzzed, she angled the screen away from me. She started charging it face down. She changed her passcode. One night, while she was in the shower, I heard her phone vibrate 3 times in a row on the bathroom sink. Just the sound of it made my chest tighten. When she came out, I asked who kept texting so late. She didn't even blink. Work. That answer should have settled it. It didn't. Because Lauren didn't just seem secretive. She seemed sad. That was what confused me. If she was having an affair, wouldn't there be excitement, distance, a colder kind of guilt? But she came home looking wrung out. Some nights her eyes were red. One night, I noticed a tiny round bandage on the inside of her arm. I asked what happened. She pulled her sleeve down too fast. Just scratched myself on a file drawer. I nodded, but something in me had already started moving, quietly, constantly, like a loose wire sparking behind a wall. A few days later, I found a receipt in her coat pocket. Not from work, not from a restaurant, from a self-storage facility near Midtown. 1 unit, month to month, paid in cash. I stood there in the laundry room staring at that thin strip of paper, feeling my heart beat in my throat. A storage unit. Why would my wife need a storage unit she never mentioned? That was the first time I seriously thought she might be building another life somewhere. A place for boxes, for clothes, for secrets. Maybe for herself, maybe for someone else. I didn't ask her about it. Not yet. I told myself I needed more before I accused the woman I'd been married to for 6 years of lying to my face. So I watched, and once I started watching, I saw too much. She took photos of strange things. Our mailbox, the living room couch, the scar on my wrist, a framed picture from our honeymoon. One morning, while pouring coffee, she suddenly asked, "What was the name of that beach we went to in Florida? The one with the red umbrellas?" I laughed. "St. George Island. You picked it." She smiled, but it looked forced. Then she opened her notes app and typed something. I remember the cold feeling that slid through me right then, not because of what she said, because of how hard she seemed to be working to sound normal. The next week, I found an index card in her purse. White, plain, bent at one corner. Written in her neat block letters were the words, "Blue mug equals Ben's favorite, no cilantro. First date equals Ponce City Market rooftop. He hates being touched when half asleep." I read it 3 times, then a 4th. I felt sick. Those weren't reminders for a lover. They were reminders for me. That should have comforted me. Instead, it scared me even more. Because if my wife needed flashcards to remember basic things about me, what exactly was happening? I wanted to confront her that night. I really did. But when she came home, she looked exhausted, pale, like she'd been carrying something heavy all day and had barely made it through the door. She kissed my cheek and said, "You still awake?" Just that. Simple, soft, and I couldn't do it. So I kept pretending, and the pretending started eating me alive. I stopped sleeping. Every sound in the house felt sharper after midnight. The hum of the fridge, the click of the thermostat, the headlights that moved across our bedroom wall before disappearing again. I'd lie there waiting for Lauren's car in the driveway, building theories I hated. Maybe the storage unit belonged to another man. Maybe the notes were for therapy. Maybe she was planning to leave me and practicing how to do it without breaking down. Then came the second twist. On a Friday night, she got home just after 10:30. I was in the kitchen. She didn't know I could see through the window by the sink. She sat in her car for almost 2 minutes before getting out. Not texting, not talking, just sitting there in the dark with both hands on the wheel. Then she lifted one hand to her face like she was wiping tears. When she came inside, she smiled at me. Too quickly, too perfectly. And I understood something right then. Whatever was happening, it wasn't casual. It was bigger than an affair. Because no one looks that broken over something simple. The next Tuesday, I followed her. I'm not proud of it, but I did. She left City Hall around 5:40. Instead of taking the highway home, she headed toward Midtown. I stayed 3 cars back. The sky was turning purple. Atlanta looked slick and metallic after a light rain. Brake lights glowed red across the streets like a warning I should have listened to. She pulled into the self-storage facility from the receipt. My mouth went dry. I parked across the street near a sandwich shop and watched. Lauren got out carrying her tote bag and a cardboard file box. A man in a navy jacket met her near the security gate. Tall, grey at the temples, maybe late 50s. He touched her shoulder. She nodded. Then, he hugged her. Not long, not romantic, but intimate enough to make my stomach drop. I sat there gripping the steering wheel so hard my hands went numb. That was it, I thought. There it is. That's the truth. I waited 20 minutes after they disappeared inside. Then I crossed the street. The front office had already closed, but someone had left the pedestrian gate half-latched. I slipped through and followed the row numbers from Lauren's receipt. Unit 314. The light inside was on. The door was pulled down, but not all the way. I could see a thin strip of yellow across the concrete floor. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. I stepped closer and looked inside. No bed, no hidden apartment, no man's clothes, no secret life the way I'd imagined it. Just boxes, dozens of them. Clear plastic bins stacked from floor to ceiling, every one labeled in black marker. Our apartment, 2019 wedding week, Nashville trip. Thanksgiving at Mom's Ben. Favorites, habits, stories, videos to watch when I panic. My whole body went cold. There were photo albums spread across a folding table, printed screenshots, old receipts, maps, greeting cards, a copy of our wedding vows, and in the center of the table, a digital voice recorder beside a yellow legal pad. The legal pad had one sentence written at the top. If I come here, I can build my way back. I heard footsteps behind me. I turned. Lauren was standing there. The grey-haired man was beside her. For a second, none of us spoke. She looked terrified. Not angry that I had followed her, terrified that I had found it. "Ben," she said, and her voice cracked on my name. I looked around the unit again, at the bins, the notes, the labels written in her handwriting. "What is this?" I whispered. She pressed her lips together, trying not to cry. The man beside her said quietly, "I'm Dr. Mercer." I stared at him, and suddenly the bandage on her arm, the notes, the strange questions, the photos of ordinary things, all of it started sliding into place in the worst possible shape. Lauren shook her head once, like she had been rehearsing this moment and still wasn't ready for it. "A few months ago," she said, "I started forgetting things at work. Little things, street names I've known for years, passwords, a meeting I scheduled myself. I couldn't move." She kept going. "I thought I was burned out. Then I got lost driving home from the grocery store." That landed like a punch. Dr. Mercer ran tests, more than once. They still don't know exactly how fast it'll move, or even how much it'll affect me long term. She swallowed hard. But they know it's real. I looked at the bins again. She followed my eyes. "I didn't know how to tell you." Her tears were falling now, fast and silent. "So I started making this place. A backup, a map, all the things I never want to lose. All the things that make you, you. That make us, us." I felt my knees go weak. You thought I was cheating, she said. It wasn't a question. I couldn't answer, because yes, of course I had, and somehow that felt disgusting now. Not because I should have known better, because she had been drowning right in front of me, and I had spent weeks searching for another man. She picked up one of the index cards from the table. My brain gets worse at night, she said. That's why I come here after work. I sort things. I record memories while they're still clear. I listen back to them. I practice. Her voice broke completely. I practice finding my way back to you. I looked at the legal pad, at a stack of flashcards rubber-banded together, at one bin labeled, How We Met, and all the anger I had been carrying for weeks collapsed into something heavier, something helpless. Why didn't you just tell me? I asked. She let out this small, painful laugh, because once I said it out loud, it would be real. Silence filled the unit. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead. Outside, somewhere far off, I could hear traffic moving through the city like nothing had changed. But everything had. Dr. Mercer quietly stepped away, giving us space. Lauren wiped her face and reached for the recorder on the table. There's something I made in case this happened before I was ready, she said. She pressed play. Her voice came through the tiny speaker, softer, shakier. If you're hearing this, Ben, it means you found the storage unit before I found the courage. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to shut you out. I was trying to save whatever time I still have to remember us the right way, before fear gets to rewrite it. I closed my eyes. That did it. Not the doctor, not the bins. That voice recording. Because it sounded like my wife. And also like someone already standing at the edge of losing herself. When I opened my eyes, Lauren was looking at me like she expected me to walk away. Maybe I should have. She had lied. She had kept something huge from me. For weeks, she let me drown in suspicion. But fear had been driving both of us, just in different directions. I stepped into the unit, past the boxes, past the table, and I took the index card from her hand. She started crying harder the second I touched her. Real crying. No control left. I held her there between bins labelled with our life, and for the first time in weeks, the truth was finally in the room. That was 7 months ago. Lauren still has good days. Some are almost normal. Some aren't. Sometimes she asks me the same question twice in an hour. Sometimes she stares at a photo a little too long before the memory clicks into place. And sometimes, late at night, she still wants to go back to the storage unit. So we go together now. We unlock the door, turn on the light, open a box. And if she asks how we met, I tell her, every single time. Ponce City Market rooftop, too much wind, bad overpriced drinks, her laughing at my shoes. My wife came home late every single night, and I thought it meant she was leaving me. The truth was worse. She was trying not to lose herself before I lost her. And now, every night she walks through that front door, no matter how late it is. I count it as a miracle.